My child, there is someone who was once very close to you, and perhaps they are still quietly present in your life. This person carries a love for you that runs so deep they don't even know how to put it into words. Their heart is heavy with emotion and longing, and no matter how hard they try, they cannot fully let you go. Still, they choose distance. The reason for their silence is not what it appears to be on the surface, nor is it the excuse they might give to others. The real truth lives in the contradiction between how deeply they feel for you and how far they force themselves to stay. At the core of it all, they are frightened by the power you have over their heart. What they feel for you is unlike anything they have ever experienced before. When you entered their life, you shook something awake inside them, touching parts of their soul they didn't even know existed. You saw through layers they had hidden for years, and that kind of emotional exposure terrifies them more than they are willing to admit, even to themselves. When they look at you, they don't just see a person. They see everything they desire and everything they fear losing. Being near you makes them feel vulnerable in a way they can't control, and you matter far too much to them to treat lightly. Your presence breaks down their defenses and leaves them emotionally exposed, while your absence feels unbearable. Yet being with you would require a level of honesty they have never given anyone before, and they don't know if they are ready for that. Part of their distance also comes from a belief that you deserve more than who they are right now. Their silence is filled with guilt, not anger or rejection. They care deeply, but they keep telling themselves they are not enough for you. They want to reach out, but fear stops them. Fear that they will disappoint you or hurt you because they feel broken inside. They believe they must become stronger, more healed, more secure before they can stand beside you again. They don't want to bring unfinished emotions or unresolved pain into your life. In their mind, they must be whole before they return. Inside them is a constant battle between heart and mind. Their heart remains loyal to you, while their mind desperately tries to resist the connection. What you share feels too deep, too meaningful to ignore, and no matter how hard they try to distract themselves with work, people, or daily routines, they cannot escape it. Your name, your voice, and your presence return to them again and again, especially in quiet moments when the world slows down. Their heart keeps calling for you, while their mind warns them to be careful and protect themselves. This inner struggle drains them, and they hope that distance will weaken what they feel, but instead it only makes it stronger. They also carry old emotional wounds they have never shown you. Scars from past betrayals and heartbreaks they pretend no longer affect them. While you remind them of love's beauty, love also reminds them of the pain they once endured. You are precious to them, and that makes being close feel risky because it means they have something to lose. Staying away feels safer than risking another break, especially the possibility of hurting you. They are not testing your patience or waiting to see if you will chase them. They are testing themselves, trying to see if they can hold their emotions together without falling apart. The truth is, they struggle with that every day. You live in their thoughts far more than they admit, and the distance hurts them deeply. Silence is not healing them. It is only revealing how strong their feelings truly are. They are starting to understand that the quiet is not a solution, just a fragile shield. They know that coming back to you would change everything, and they are not yet ready for that transformation. You are not a passing interest to them. They know that one honest conversation, one step toward you, would shift everything permanently. Once they choose you, it becomes real, and that level of commitment is what frightens them most. They stay away because if they return, it won't be halfway. It would mean giving everything. They keep waiting for the perfect moment, telling themselves certain conditions must be met before they reach out. Yet no moment ever feels quite right. They keep telling themselves that they will call you next week, or that they should wait until their own life feels more settled and their problems are under control. They believe there will come a day when they finally feel ready to face you. But deep down, they are starting to understand a painful truth. There is no perfect moment. Their heart is screaming that it wants you right now, while their fear insists they need more time. That waiting has become both their safest excuse and their quiet punishment. The longer they delay, the more they miss you, and the more they miss you, the harder it feels to reach out. With every day of silence, the distance between you feels wider. They feel stuck in a loop, wanting to close the gap but feeling crushed by how much time has already passed. as if each day adds more weight to the courage they would need to break the silence. They worry that too much time has gone by and that a simple hello would no longer be enough. One of their deepest fears is that you may have already moved on, that you have grown stronger without them and healed in ways that no longer include them. They are afraid you have stopped waiting, stopped hoping, and maybe even stopped caring whether they ever come back. In their mind, they see themselves falling behind in the story of your life, scared that by the time they finally find the strength to step forward, the door will already be closed for good. Because of this fear, they watch you from a distance, quietly checking your energy. They scroll through your social media or look for small signs of how you are feeling, hoping to see that the person they miss is still there. They are searching for any hint that there is still space for them in your world. But instead of risking the pain of rejection, they choose silence, convincing themselves that carrying the weight of unresolved feelings is easier than facing the possibility of losing you completely. They told themselves it was too late, choosing the safety of distance instead of facing the pain that honesty might bring. Deep at the core of their soul, they are quietly hoping that you can still feel them. Even from far away, they wonder if you think about them as much as they think about you. They question whether you can still sense the bond that hasn't disappeared, or if you can feel how much they miss you in the quiet hours of the night. Some nights, they are convinced your energy reaches them, creating an unexplainable pull in their chest that reminds them the connection is still alive and doesn't need words to exist. You may have felt moments like this too, when someone's presence suddenly washes over you even though they're not physically there. Even on days when it feels like you're slowly fading from their life, your presence still lingers in their heart, like a shadow that never fully leaves. Their memories of you are revisited again and again, like favorite pages in a book they can't stop reopening. Just because they aren't speaking to you right now doesn't mean the connection has gone quiet. There is a conversation happening beyond the physical world, one that keeps your souls linked even as they try to drift away. The truth beneath the distance is that they are not gone forever. They are only taking space to steady their emotions and build the courage to be real with you. Slowly, they are understanding that you never wanted perfection from them, only honesty. Your story together isn't over, and this chapter hasn't ended. There is still more waiting to be written, and they feel that truth deep within themselves. A moment will come, whether gradually or all at once, when they can no longer hold back what they feel. Something will push them past their limits. Maybe a memory that hits too hard, a vivid dream of you, or a sign they can't ignore anymore. Missing you will overwhelm them, and they'll finally realize how empty life feels without you. That realization will be what draws them back. When they return, it won't be because everything is perfectly planned or because they finally feel ready. It will be because their heart can't handle the distance any longer. They haven't removed you from their life, and they haven't broken the bond you share. They are not indifferent to your absence or your pain. They are simply someone who feels scared, overwhelmed, and unprepared for the intensity of what this connection has awakened in them. The love they feel for you hasn't faded. In fact, it has grown stronger in the silence, building quietly until it becomes impossible to contain. They aren't staying away because they don't care. They're staying away because the depth of their love frightens them. And when they do come back, they'll bring a level of honesty and emotional depth they never had the courage to show before. They will finally speak the words they've been carrying in their heart for so long. Try to imagine the quiet struggle inside someone who cares more than they know how to express. They are trapped in a silence that has nothing to do with a lack of love and everything to do with how deeply you have changed them. Inside them is a constant battle between heart and mind. Their heart remains loyal to you, pulsing with a connection that feels timeless and meant to be, while their mind desperately searches for reasons to keep its distance. This isn't something casual or temporary for them. It is a profound, almost spiritual experience that has forced them to confront parts of themselves they were never ready to face. What you share is far deeper than a passing attraction, and they know it even if they're not ready to admit it yet. This connection goes far beyond surface feelings. It reaches them at a soul level, and that depth is exactly why they feel so hesitant right now. When they think of you, they don't just see someone they care about. They see every dream they once held and every fear they tried to bury. You represent a version of life that would ask them to change who they are and how they live, and while that kind of transformation is beautiful, it is also frightening for someone who has spent years protecting their heart. The silence you feel isn't indifference, it's self-defense. They are keeping their distance because they are trying to convince themselves they can survive without you, testing their emotional strength day after day. They want to believe they can control their thoughts and steady their heart without falling apart every time you cross their mind. But the truth is they are losing that battle. The more space they create, the stronger their feelings become. Distance only amplifies what they are trying to escape. No matter how much they distract themselves or tell themselves the connection wasn't real, something always pulls them back to you. It could be a quiet moment at night or a song that reminds them of you, but you always find your way back into their thoughts. They are slowly realizing you are not someone they can simply walk away from. You've left a lasting imprint on their spirit, and no matter how hard they try to deny it, their heart still calls out to you in the silence. They are carrying emotional wounds you've never seen, old scars from heartbreak and betrayal that taught them to be cautious of anything that feels too good. Your presence feels like a gift, but it also awakens memories of what it felt like to lose something deeply precious. Because you matter so much to them, the idea of losing you feels unbearable, and that fear makes them freeze. It isn't because of anything you did, but because they are terrified of being broken again. They find themselves pulling away just as things begin to deepen, stuck in a waiting pattern they created themselves. They keep telling themselves they will come forward when life feels more stable or when they feel healed enough to be the person they think you deserve. They wait for a perfect moment that doesn't truly exist, using time both as an excuse and a punishment for not feeling ready. They want to approach you as someone whole and secure, not as someone still fighting inner battles they fear might burden you. There is a lot of guilt behind their silence. They don't feel like enough for you right now and worry that reaching out would only lead to disappointing you. To them, it feels safer to miss you from a distance than to risk seeing hurt in your eyes. In their mind, staying away is a strange form of love, one meant to protect you from their flaws. They are so focused on what they believe is broken within them that they don't realize you aren't asking for perfection, only honesty. They are also afraid that stepping toward you would change everything. They know you aren't a casual choice and that one real conversation could shift the entire foundation of what you share. If they return, they know it has to be fully, and the weight of that commitment is what keeps them standing still. In their solitude, they wonder constantly if you still feel the same or if you've moved on while they struggled in silence. They fear that the door they hesitate to walk through may one day quietly close. The path they once wanted to walk with you feels closed now, as if it was locked by your own hand. Still, they quietly check in on you, searching for any small sign that you still care. They are afraid to ask directly because they don't think they could survive hearing that it's too late. What sits beneath all that fear is the truth that your story isn't finished. They aren't gone for good. They've stepped back to collect themselves so they can return with the honesty and openness you deserve. They're waiting for that one moment, a dream, a sign, or a sudden rush of longing that finally becomes stronger than their fear and pulls them back to you. They are slowly realizing that life without you feels empty in a way time and distance can't fix. This isn't indifference or detachment. In fact, they are more aware of you now than ever before. Their love is growing quietly, building pressure in the silence until it can no longer be contained. They stay away not because they don't love you, but because the depth of that love feels bigger than what they know how to handle right now. When they finally speak, it won't be with excuses, but with the raw truth they've been holding back. They're learning that perfection isn't necessary for connection, and that the space they created is only making them crave you more. What you share is alive, and even with physical distance between you, your souls are still communicating. Trust that the work they're doing in the dark is guiding them back toward you. This is a pause, not the end. The silence between you isn't empty. It's heavy with everything they're too scared to say. They keep waiting for a perfect moment, but they're starting to see that it may never come. In their mind, they promise themselves they'll reach out once their life feels stable, once they feel ready to face the intensity of what you share. Time has become both their shield and their pain. It keeps them feeling safe, yet every passing moment makes their heart ache more. The longer they wait, the bigger the distance feels, until even reaching out seems overwhelming. One of their deepest fears is that you've already moved on. From afar, They watch your life and wonder if you've grown so strong and healed that there's no longer space for them. They worry that while they were battling their inner struggles, you stopped waiting. They check on you silently, scrolling through your social media or asking about your mood, just to see if the version of you they love still exists. They're searching for proof that the door isn't locked forever, but fear of rejection keeps them from knocking. Deep down, they hope you can still feel the connection despite the distance. They wonder if you think of them in the quiet moments or sense them missing you from far away. Some days they feel you slipping away, and then suddenly they feel your energy again and remember that your souls are still speaking. Your memories live in their mind like bookmarked pages they return to every day. They're trying to build courage and emotional balance so that when they do come back, they can finally offer you the depth and honesty you've always deserved. They aren't planning to disappear forever. Something is building in the distance, a momentum that will eventually draw them back toward you. Whether it's a dream that feels too real to ignore or a moment that finally makes staying away impossible. At some point, whether through time or a sudden moment of clarity, they will realize that life without you feels empty. That moment won't come because they finally feel ready or have everything figured out. It will come because their heart can no longer carry the weight of missing you for another second. When they return, it won't be in search of perfection, but truth. They will finally understand that all you ever wanted was something real, honest, and genuine. They are not absent because they stopped caring or found someone else. They stepped away because what they feel for you is overwhelming. Being with you requires a level of vulnerability that terrifies them, but slowly, the pain of your absence is becoming stronger than their fear. When they stand in front of you again, they will bring the words they were once too afraid to say and the love that quietly grew while they were gone. Your story isn't over. This distance is just a chapter meant to prepare you both for something deeper and more authentic. Right now, they are emotionally preparing themselves, searching for the right way to explain why they disappeared and why they stayed silent for so long. They are beginning to understand that their silence hurt both of you and that the distance they thought would protect them only created a different kind of pain. What you share is too powerful to be broken by time or space. It exists beyond the physical world, and that bond is what will eventually lead them back to you. They think about you far more than they would ever admit. They replay conversations, wondering how things could have gone differently, carrying the guilt of leaving you with unanswered questions. At the same time, they try to convince themselves that you might be better off without them. That inner conflict is what keeps them stuck. But the connection between you is tightening. The more they try to walk away, the more they are pulled back toward the light you bring into their life. Even in silence, they are not free from you. You live in their thoughts as a reminder of what could have been and what still could be. They are learning that some connections cannot be outrun, especially those written in the stars. Each day apart only confirms that no one else can fill the space you left behind. They are slowly accepting that facing their fear with you is better than spending a lifetime wondering what might have been. The journey back to you has already begun within them. Old fears and excuses are falling away, and they are realizing that maybe later is no longer an option. Honesty is the only thing that matters now. When they finally reach out, it will be with a heart shaped by longing and a soul ready to be fully seen. The silence you're experiencing isn't the end. It's a bridge leading to a stronger and more honest love. They are waiting for one final push, one moment of courage to tear down the walls they built. Could be something small, like remembering your laugh, or something life-changing that reminds them how much they need you. Whatever it is, the shift is happening. They are moving away from fear and toward the risk of loving you fully. This return won't be casual. It will come with a deep promise to never let silence win again. Your patience reflects the strength of your bond, and your energy has been the light guiding them home, even when they were lost in their own darkness. They know they have much to explain, and they are preparing to become the person you deserve. The distance is shrinking. The silence is cracking. The love that survived in the shadows is ready to step into the light. Every painful moment of separation served a purpose. It taught them that they cannot live without the depth you bring into their life and showed them that their fears are far smaller than their love for you. They are finally emerging from this period of emotional isolation, ready to choose love over fear. They stepped into that time alone and came out changed, carrying a new way of seeing things and a deeper respect for what you bring into their life. They are no longer the person who once chose to run. They are someone who now understands that you are worth every fear they had to face. Before long, a call will come, a message will appear, or they will show up in a place that once held your shared memories. When that moment arrives, the quiet that stretched on for months or even years will dissolve, replaced by a truth that simply needed time to surface. You'll recognize in their eyes that they never truly walked away, and they'll recognize in yours that you were always the place they were searching for.